Hello everybody, here is Math Jedi V, and today we're going to be attacking the 2017 AMC 8 Problem 23. Each day for 4 days, Linda traveled for 1 hour at a speed that resulted in her traveling 1 mile in an integer number of minutes. Each day after the first, her speed decreased so that the number of minutes to travel 1 mile increased by 5 minutes over the preceding day. Each of the 4 days, her distance traveled was also an integer number of miles. What was the total number of miles for the 4 trips? Let's try to plot out all the information the problem gives us. It tells us that the times for all 4 days that Linda traveled is always 1 hour. If you read on, it says each day after the first, her speed decreased so that the number of minutes to travel 1 mile increased by 5 minutes. So it seems like the rest of the problem is talking about minutes. Let's just convert the hours into minutes. Okay, now we can worry about the speed of Linda for all 4 days. So the speed for the first day, speed for the second day, speed for the third day, and speed for the 4th day. The speed for the first day is that Linda travels 1 mile in an X number of minutes. We do not know what X is right now. But the problem does tell us that every day Linda travels a mile in an increasing number of 5 minutes. Therefore, S2 is equal to 1 mile over X plus 5 minutes. The same thing applies to S3. 1 mile over X plus 10 minutes. And 1 mile over X plus 15 minutes. Okay, so now we have plotted out all the information the problem gives us. Now the question is asking us, what was the total number of miles for the 4 trips? This is talking about the distance. We all know that the distance formula is distance equals speed times time. We have the speed and the time already. So let's calculate the distance for all 4 days. The distance 1, distance 2, distance 3, and distance 4. So we would multiply it, 60 minutes times 1 mile over X minutes. We can cancel out the minutes to get 60 miles over X. The same thing we can do it here. We can cancel out the minutes to get 60 over X plus 5. Same thing here, 60 miles over X plus 10. And last but not least, on the 4th day, 60 miles over X plus 15. And the problem tells us that the distance you traveled every day has to be an integer. So all this has to be int. So all we need to do is find the value of x, which will make all 60 over x, 60 over x plus 5, 60 over x plus 10, and 60 over x plus 15 an integer. And we have the answer. To do this, we'll list out all the factors of 60. So I have an easy way to do this. We start with 1, and so what times 1 will equal 60? 60. Same thing for 2. 2 times 30 will equal 60. You go on, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, and 6 times 10. Does 7 divide into 60? No. Does 8? No. 9? No. 10? Yes. It equals to 10 times 6. But that is repeating 6 times 10. Therefore, it is not a factor because it's repeating. So these are all the factors of 60. Now let's check x and see if we have the answer. Let x equals 1. If x equals 1, 60 over 1 is 60. Yes, that's an integer. 60 over 1 plus 5 is 6. 60 over 6 is an integer as well. 60 over 1 plus 10, 11. 60 over 11 is not an integer. Therefore, 1 cannot be x. Let's keep on going. 2. If x is equal to 2, 60 over 2 is an integer. If 60 over 7, 60 over 7 is not an integer. Therefore, 2 cannot be x. Let's try 3. 60 divided by 3 is an integer. 60 divided by 3 plus 5, 8, is not an integer. So, therefore, x cannot be 3. Let's go to 4. 60 over 4, 15, that is an integer. 60 over 9, that is not an integer. So, therefore, 4 cannot be x. Let's try 5 now. 60 over 5, that is an integer. 60 over 10, that is also an integer. 60 divided by 15, that is also an integer. And 60 over 20, that is an integer as well. Therefore, x can be 5. So that is a possibility. But let's just check all the other ones and make sure that 5 is the only one. 6. 60 over 6 is 10, that is an integer. 60 over 6 plus 5, 11, that is not an integer. Therefore, x cannot be 6. Let's try 10 now. 60 over 10, yes, that is an integer. 60 over 15, that is an integer. 60 over 20, that is an integer. But 60 over 25, that is not an integer. Therefore, 10 cannot be x. Let's try 12. 60 over 12, yes. 60 over 17, that is not an integer. Therefore, 12 cannot be x. 15. 60 over 15, yes, that is an integer. 60 over 20, that is an integer as well. 60 over 15 plus 10, 25. That is not an integer, so therefore 15 cannot be. 60 over 20, that is an integer. But 60 divided by 25, that is not an integer. So 30 now. 60 over 30, that is an integer. But 60 over 35 is not an integer. And last but not least, 60. 60 divided by 60, that is an integer. But 60 divided by 65 is obviously not an integer. Therefore, 5 is the only choice for x. So now, we can just plug in the value of x. So 60 miles over 5 plus 60 miles over 5 plus 5 plus 60 miles over 5 plus 10 and plus 60 miles over 5 plus 15. Simplifying, we get 12 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3, which is equal to 25 miles. Answer choice C. Problem conquered. Thanks for watching. May the force be with you. See you next time.